and adopt prayer gesture. We'll start with Namokar Mantra. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Settanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loye Savvasahunam. Eso Panchanamo Yaro, Savva Pavapanasano, Mangalanancha Savvesim, Padamam Hoi Mangalam. Now, normally we have been reciting Namokar Mantra ever since we are young, but there are certain words which maybe we have not learned correctly. Okay, Bina is here. Let's just give her a minute. Okay, fine. Okay. So we'll just recite the Namokar Mantra one more time. Try to listen to the words. Taisha, you can even sit if you want to sit. Or if you have to go to sleep, then go ahead. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Settanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loye Savvasahunam. Eso Panchanamo Yaro, Savva Pavapanasano, Mangalanancha Savvesim, Padamam Hoi Mangalam. Dipesh, like switch on your video so I can add you. Otherwise, I will not be able to add you. Okay. So, Namokar Mantra was written by Pushpadant Acharya. Who is it, Taisha? Pushpadant Acharya. Who wrote Namokar Mantra? Namokar Mantra was written in Prakrit almost 2,300 years ago, 2,400 years ago, just after Mahavir Bhagwan, because Mahavir Bhagwan has gone to moksha. It has been 2,600 years plus. Taisha, when did Mahavir Bhagwan go to moksha? During Diwali. Diwali time, that is the same day. So now Diwali is coming. So he went on the same day, he went to moksha. And that is the reason why we celebrate. It is called Deepavali or it is called Diwali. So that is the reason why we celebrate Diwali. Right? So approximately 2,600 years ago, maybe a little bit more, like Mahavir Bhagwan went to moksha. A few hundred years later, Pushpadant Acharya started to write. Like this is how our writing has started. Until Mahavir Bhagwan, people just used to listen, Sneha, because their memory was very sharp. Alka, they were just listening. There was no writing which was happening. And then it is through this, like you can say, Namokar Mantra is the first mantra written in this 5th era, because in the 4th era, we have the 24 Tirthankars. And then it is a descending time cycle. So from 4th, Taisha, we now go to 5th time cycle. So the moment we're living in the 5th time cycle. Do we have any Tirthankars here? We don't have any Tirthankars. We don't have any Tirthankars. Veer, you can listen if you want to. So yeah, so like we don't have any like Tirthankars at the moment, because it is a descending time cycle, Veer. At the moment, we are going down. Eventually, we'll come to the 6th era where there will be no Jain religion. Hi, Avi. There will be no Jain religion in the 6th era. It is only until the 5th era, Veer, that the Jain religion will survive. After that, there will be nothing remaining. So what is actually what is Jain philosophy? It is the laws of the universe, and hence our class, Veer, our class is actually called Universal Laws for Infinite Happiness. Because these are universal laws, Atish. They are universal as nobody has created it. Taisha, has like somebody said that the sun will rise from the east and like set in the west? Nobody has said it. No God has made this rule. Veer, no God has made this rule. Okay, so Alka, no God has made this rule. The rules are existing in the universe for infinite time, and they will continue to do so for another infinite time. So actually, Jain philosophy, Sneha, is just understanding how the universe is working. That's all. That is all it is. Now, what benefit is it to me to understand how the universe is working? If I understand that the universe, Taisha, has got 6 substances, it has got 6 substances, of which one of them is called soul. Veer, one of them is called soul, and I am a soul. You are a soul. And I am a soul, and every soul wants is infinite, or not even infinite, but every soul wants happiness and peace. There are only 2 things that everybody wants. Why do we work so hard as adults? We're like slogging, not just for ourselves, for the entire family. We're working so hard because we want to see our family happy. Why do we accumulate money? Because we want a peaceful life. We want a life where we're not struggling. So the end product of everything, Dipesh, just turn on your video so at least you can interact also with us. So the end product of anything we do in life, even if we go for a holiday, like what is the reason why we go for a holiday? We want to be happy. Say for example, we go by the beach side. Why do we like to go by the beach side? Because we experience happiness, isn't it? That we play in the water, maybe we swim, we eat, we're just relaxing the whole day. So anything we do, but like what happens, Taisha, if you're asked to live in a hotel for maybe 10 days, will you be happy? If you have to live in a hotel for 10 days? No. Okay, so you will not be happy. But if we have to live in a hotel for maybe, say, 7 days, so we'll be happy. Eventually, we will start to miss home. We'll get bored of the food. We'll get bored of the same swimming, eating, doing nothing. We'll get bored of it and we'll start to miss home after that. And the minute we start to miss home, we realize that the happiness we got in that experience was never real happiness. It was just pleasure for that short number of days or hours. Now, Alka, what's your favorite ice cream? What flavor is your favorite ice cream?
Strawberry.
Sorry?
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Okay, so now Alka has been given 1 cup of strawberry ice cream, so she'll be very happy. If I give Alka 10 cups of strawberry ice cream, do you think she'll be happy? She might not be happy. She'll be like, take this away. Because with 1 we'll be happy, with 2 we'll be happy, maybe with 3 we'll be happy. But by the time we see the 4th cup of strawberry ice cream, or like whichever is your favorite ice cream, but in this case, we're using the example of strawberry ice cream. Maybe by the 4th cup of your favorite flavor, you will not want to eat ice cream. Because it is the law of diminishing returns. The more we consume that product, we get tired of that product. So what is the purpose of coming for this class? The only purpose of coming to this class is to understand that I am a soul and I am made of infinite happiness. That is the reason why we are never satisfied outside. We are never satisfied in anything. Let's take an example of a brand new car. Veer, which one is your favorite car? Sorry?
Kamal, sorry. Can I just disturb you?
Yeah.
Bina just sent me a message. She's unable to hear anything on the Zoom. So can you send her a video?
Yeah, let me send her the link of this YouTube. Maybe she can hear through YouTube. Just a second. Yeah, go on, Veer. What is your favorite Porsche? I think you said Porsche. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. So fine. So imagine you buy a new car, and after 10 days, just 10 days of driving it, it gets hit so badly that basically you can't use it again. Do you still want to keep it in your house, or do you want to now throw it away? Or like, do you want now the insurance to give you money? Because now you can't use it, isn't it? So now you want to still get some happiness out of that car by getting the insurance money. Are you seeing that we are never satisfied? We are never satisfied. Forget that there was an accident. Just a second. Let me just send it. It has opened. Tell her I've put it on the group.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, so now it's on the group. Okay, yeah. So everything that we're experiencing is always temporary happiness. It is always temporary happiness. Maybe we're passionate about a job. It could be any form of a job that we really like to do. But say, for example, we are working from 8 to 4, and somebody asks us to work from 6 in the morning till 8 in the night. Will we be satisfied with that same job? Will we be happy in that same job? We will not be happy at all. Somebody maybe tells us you don't have to work 5 days a week. Maybe you have to work 7 days a week. We will not be happy, because you see, happiness cannot be found outside. And where are we looking for happiness? Sneha, we are looking for happiness in matter particles, which is called Pudgal. That is the second substance of the universe. The first substance is called Jeev, which is soul, and it is soul that is made out of infinite happiness. But our problem since infinite years, we're always looking for happiness outside. And we forget that the soul, I am a soul, Taisha, and I'm made out of infinite happiness, Alka. So I am a soul and I am made out of infinite happiness, and we forget that, or we don't know that, or if we know that, we don't know the method to experience the soul. Because if you look at our experience from the morning we wake up to not just going to sleep, but even in our dreams, we are actually thinking about that I am a body. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is brush your teeth. You're looking after the body. You have a bath, you're looking after the body. You have breakfast, you're looking after the body. Why? Body, body, body all the time? Because the belief is there, Veer, that I am a body. The belief is stuck. Even if you wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, the first thing which will come out is my name is Komal. I will not immediately say that I am a soul. But the belief has to now change from I am a body, or I am this existence limited to this body and its actions and its thoughts, compared to the unlimited, compared to the infinite soul, which I am. And that is the only purpose, of like learning Jain philosophy. So Jain philosophy is not for people born in a Jain family. Jain philosophy is for all souls. It doesn't matter what family they're born in. It is for all, each and every soul, because actually this is not an organized religion. This is not an organized religion. This is actually the universal truth, that what actually is a soul and how can you experience the soul. And once you experience the soul, what fruit do you get? What fruit do you get? Now it can maybe we can even argue and say that even in other sorts of faith, they talk about soul, and which we can't deny. They do talk about the soul. But go and study yourself, and we will also study in this class that are the other faiths elaborating or expanding or giving such clarity what is the exact nature of the soul. Now, why is it that only in Jain religion we can say that the exact nature of the soul is given, Sneha? The reason is that Arihant Bhagwan has got infinite knowledge. He has got infinite knowledge. Like people like us only have 1% knowledge. Veer. People like us only have 1% knowledge compared to Arihant Bhagwan, who has got infinite and complete knowledge. The key words are Alka, infinite and complete knowledge. Taisha. So the key words are Atish, infinite and complete knowledge. And that can only be experienced by an Arihant. that can only be experienced by an arihant and not by even a monk. Not even a monk has got infinite knowledge. A monk maybe has got 60 to 70% knowledge, and people like us have got 1% knowledge. People like, say, Gurudev Kanji Swami have got 10% knowledge, so he has got much more than like we have. And a monk like Kunt Acharya has got approximately, this is just approximation for our understanding. It doesn't mean that the numbers I'm giving are the numbers, but this is only for our like understanding, that somebody like Kunt Acharya has got about 60 to 70% knowledge because he's a Muniraj. And compared to Arihant Bhagwan has got 100% knowledge. So this is the reason why we're actually studying. I mean, this is the only reason why we're studying, to experience infinite happiness. Because how many of us like sorrow? Just raise your hand. Nobody likes to experience sorrow. Fine. Another argument which can be done is, in this life, I've got a perfect house, I've got a perfect family, I've got all the luxurious items, and my life is set. I am not exactly unhappy, which is true in most of ours, like, families. It is actually a true fact. In most of our families, we are not that unhappy. We don't have to, we are not working like our, like servants, you can say. We like, I mean, our life is not that harsh. So actually, compared to their life, our life is a lot happier. But what happens is that this life is only for approximately 60 to 75 years. Because these days, even we hear people are unfortunately passing away in their 50s. It is such an unfortunate time cycle that we're living in, that people are dying so young. So the average lifespan is only between 60 and 75 years, and not more than that. So we can say that, fine, I am happy. But what happens next once you leave this body? Are you guaranteed the same surrounding? The same surrounding, that, more or less life is fine, like for all of us, more or less life is fine. But you're not guaranteed that, because it depends where you go. It really depends where you go. If you become a human again, we are seeing thousands and billions of humans, you can say, who are living in extreme poverty. So you could become a human, but what guarantees are that you will get the same sort of like surroundings? What guarantees that you will get the opportunity again to listen to what is soul and how to experience it? There's no guarantee. If you get a body of an animal, we see daily on the road, we see cats are crushed almost every day, if not every day. We see some form of animal who's crossing the road, and then we see the body. Like on the so like, look at their life. Look at the life of a deer. He's always afraid that the lion is going to hunt him. Look at the wildebeests when they are, crossing from, say, from Kenya to like Tanzania, so many get crushed. Look at their life. I mean, it is actually a very short life, like compared to a human life. It is like, if you look at like life of a dog, maybe 15 to 20 years. If you look at of a cat, again, 15 years to about 20 years. Look at their life, Taisha, it is quite short compared to ours. And there's a lot of sorrow in their life. So you can get a body of a human, you can get a body of an animal, you can get a heavenly being. Now you can say, now I've got all the luxuries. Now I don't have to work, and which is true. In heaven, we don't have to work. We don't even have to eat, Taisha, in heaven, because in our neck, what happens? Nectar falls. Nectar keeps on falling, and we don't even have to eat. So we don't have to cook. We don't have to buy vegetables. We never have to go shopping, which is a big, time saved. And it is annoying to keep on going shopping on a daily basis. So we don't have to eat. We don't have to drink. We basically everything is sorted. We don't have to do anything in heaven. But are the heavenly beings happy? Because if you have not experienced the soul, you get a very, very low form of swarg, meaning there are 16 swargs. You get a very, you can say like the lowest swarg you can get, or not the lowest is not the correct way of saying it. You can get a swarg because you have not experienced the soul. There'll be like a hierarchy. There'll be a hierarchy of Dev, of the heavenly beings, and people like us who have not experienced the soul, they order us. You become an elephant. Let's go to Samavasara. They actually order us, and like the biggest vices, or like or sorry, the biggest vice in heaven is actually jealousy. And here, as human beings, the biggest vice is ego. So and the biggest vice in the animal kingdom is kapat. It is actually cunningness. So each gati, each form of life have got their you can say higher vice compared to other compared to other like vices. Now, we were talking about heaven. What happens is that when you have not experienced the soul, you get a very low hierarchy of a heavenly being. And that means that Taisha, even there's no happiness in heaven, because they keep on ordering you to do things as if you are their servant, and you have to do it. If they tell you turn into an elephant, you have to turn into an elephant, and you have to carry them and take them to wherever they want to go. And this keeps on happening, and so the jealousy builds up. Now what happens when you're nearing your end of life? Because in Dev you've got long lives, you can say lives of billions of years, not like just like millions of life. I mean, the span is not like, the number is not in millions, it is in billions. It is actually a very long life that you get in heaven. And what happens in this entire long span of life, you're ordered to do things. And then when the time comes where you actually have to give up the body of the heavenly being and move on into another body, meaning death, what happens is that 6 months before, the Dev has like a thought, like that is what happens there naturally 6 months before. And he has worn a garland in his neck, and that garland starts to wither off. That's when he knows that now my life is going to finish in the next 6 months. And in some of them, they even know where they're going to go in their next life. So some of them will know that they're going to go in one sense being. This is actually written in Chardhara. There's a book called Chardhara, and it is actually written over there that the Dev actually sees that now he's going to go in a one sense being, that is going in a potato, or maybe becoming a water particle, or maybe becoming an air particle. And this is where they're going to go. So naturally their thoughts start to quiver, because I mean, who can stand that you are in such a high position and you fall down to the lowest position? So even there's no happiness in heaven. If we are thinking, in case if everyone has this assumption that in heaven there's happiness, but the reality is that there's no happiness even in heaven. Now hell, we all know that there's no happiness, because in the first, is it four, is it, yeah, the first, 3 or 4. So the first 3 hell, it is extremely hot. It is so hot that it can burn you. It is extremely hot. And what is actually written in our Shastra, that even a tiny particle of the sand of the hell environment, if you put just 1 or 2 particles in like earth over here, it can, I mean, the smell is so bad. It can actually destroy 3 to 4 towns. That hell is that horrible. It is actually that horrible, and we have actually been there, all of us, including Mahavir Bhagwan, including Rishabdev Bhagwan, all of us have been there. But what is the difference between us and Mahavir Bhagwan and Rishabdev Bhagwan? That they realized that they're a soul, and then they went up. But the reality is that all of us have been into hell. And now the question is, do we want to go there again? So, and in the remaining 4 hell, it is extremely cold. It is so cold that basically it just bites into you, and the environment is not worth living. Because what happens when you're born in hell, you're thrown from the top, and then there could be thorns down there, and the entire body crushes into pieces. Now, the form of body that we get in hell, it can join again, but on earth it can't. I mean, that sort of body we don't get on earth. I mean, as humans, we don't get that body. So, so once the body falls in hell, it can fall from a cliff into a bed of thorns, and the whole body is crushed into pieces. Then the body comes back again. Then an enemy from the last life or last 10 lives or last 100 lives, somebody sees him and they come to kill him again. And again, the body is into pieces. Now that Jeev is thirsty, so he goes and drinks water, but he realizes the water is full of thorns. So he's drinking water and the water is actually full of thorns, and again, it is hurting him. There is no concept of sleep over there. 24 hours, the Jeev is just fighting, 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 and fighting. He like tries to rest under a tree. What happens? The tree suddenly becomes into thorns and the thorns poke him. So it is a horrible place to be in, which we cannot even say in words. I mean, these are the few things that we can describe, but you can imagine the quantity of pain. The quantity of pain is ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous to be in hell. So now these are the four gatis where there is no sukh, there is no happiness in the four gatis. We can say in manushya and in human and in heavenly beings, at least the level of dukh, the level of pain is slightly less. We can say that, but there's no permanent happiness. There is no infinite happiness, right? And because there's no infinite happiness, the reason, and then we start to move from gati to gati to gati, we become heavenly being, hellish being, animal, human, and that process continues, and that process can only last up to 2000 sagaropam. Sagaropam is again a number in billion times billion. It is actually not a short number, it is a huge number. But what happens after that, if we don't attain samyak darshan, if we don't attain if we don't experience the soul, we go back to the one sense being. And then the number there is not in billions, then the number there is in infinite. Then we can live in that space, in that one sense being for infinite years, and we might not even come out again. We may never come out again and be a five sense being to actually listen to Jinvani, to listen to Arihant Bhagwan's teachings and to experience moksha. These are the laws of nature. Nobody has created, no God has created us. No one has made this law of karma. Nobody, because it is just a law of the universe. It is the law of karma, that if you don't experience Samyak Darshan in 2000 Sagaropam, then you go back to the one sense being, and then you stay there for infinite years. So we should actually be thanking Kuntkunacharya and Gurudev, like Kanji Swami, because it is actually, because we can't read Prakrit, number one, because Kuntkunacharya has written everything in Prakrit. Then there was Amrit Chandra Acharya, who we should also be thankful to, because he translated everything to Sanskrit. Now, again, we can't really understand Sanskrit. Fine, maybe some of us can read the Hindi letters, because Prakrit and Sanskrit are using the same Hindi letters. But still, our Sanskrit is not as strong. Then the language went to Dhundhari. After Dhundhari, it went to Hindi. After Hindi, again, our Hindi is not that powerful. We can maybe, like speak in a few sentences, and we can understand even the Bollywood films, but our Hindi is not that powerful to understand Shastra. Then look at our luck. It is actually our luck that from Hindi, it got translated to Gujarati. And Gujarati, we can say, to a larger extent, compared to the other languages, we still understand. So look at our luck that we have in a language. Imagine if from Hindi, if it got translated into Tamil. No, that would be impossible for us to understand, because all the South Indian languages we don't know. Imagine from Hindi, just in case it was translated into Bengali. Again, very difficult for us to understand. So look at our luck that we actually have the original Kuntkunacharya Shastras in Gujarati, in a language that we can speak. And the importance of Gujarati, we should all understand the importance of learning, speaking, reading, writing Gujarati. To an extent, we can speak in English. We can even explain to others in English to an extent. But remember, recently for Paryushan at the temple, like Nilesh Pai had come, and he said that in English, we have between 5,000 to 10,000 words, like in the English vocabulary. In the Gujarati vocabulary, we have between 20,000 to 30,000 words. Now, think about it, something that is in 20 to 30,000 words, how do we translate each and every word in English? We can't translate each and every word in English. Hence, the importance of learning Gujarati as an adult, as a child. It is important. It is perhaps far more important, because today is just the introductory class. So we'll just go into the the upper nu, and then from next week we will actually start to understand what is a soul, how can we experience the soul. So the point was, the importance of learning Gujarati is that we can read our Shastras. Then we are not reliant, on others. At least we can read it ourselves. So very, very important, as adults or as children, we should learn Gujarati. Now, this universe is made out of 6 substances, Sneha. The first substance is called Jeev, which is soul. And remember, nobody has created the soul. Nobody can destroy the soul. The second one is Pudgal. If you want, you can write this down. The first one is Jeev. The second one is Pudgal. Pudgal means matter particles. And it does not mean non-living, like a non-living form of life. It actually means matter particles. Pudgal, P-U-D-G-A-L. P-U-D-G-A-L, Pudgal. The third one, let me write the spelling because it's a bit big. It's called Dharmastikai. I've written it, unlike in the chat. It is called Dharmastikai, which means ether. Then the fourth one is called Adharmastikai, which is on the chat again. The fifth one is called Akash, and the sixth one is called Kal. So Jeev means soul, Pudgal means matter particles, Dharmastikai means ether, Adharmastikai means anti-ether, Akash means space, and Kal means time. One more time. Jeev means soul, Pudgal means matter particles, Dharmastikai means ether, Adharmastikai is anti-ether, Akash is space, and Kal is time. So these are the 6 substances of the universe which no one has created, and no God can create this, because the nature of the soul is to know and not to do. The soul is a knower and not a doer. We can't do anything. We can only know. We can only હું જાણનાર છું, હું કરનાર નથી. We can only know. Because one of the attributes of the soul, one of the qualities of the soul is knowledge. But there's no quality in the soul to do things or to change things or to, like, basically the doership concept is not there. That is the reason why no God has created this universe, and that is a uniqueness of Jain religion, because in all other religions or all other faiths, they will say that somebody has created the universe. Take, for example, in like Christianity, they say it has been created in 7 days. There's this in like each day something was created. Take Vedanta, for example, or which we say Hinduism, because the actual word is Vedanta. It says that, again, this universe, God created this universe, and then the small souls go and mix up with a big soul up there. Take any other form of faith, and everyone will say some God has created this universe, but no God has created this universe. And this is a universal law, like what we learn in our science class, that nobody has created this universe. Then there's a theory, Alka, in like what we have learned in school, that the Darwin's theory, the whole theory of evolution, where from dinosaurs we become into monkeys, and from monkeys we become into humans. Now think about it. This is saying that at one point there were only animals existing and no humans were existing. Now this is not true because there have always been 4 gatis: human, animal, hellish being, and heavenly being. There's always been these 4 gatis, and and everything we can't prove with logic. Some things, we're not saying everything, but some things we have to leave it on Arihant Bhagwan, because Arihant Bhagwan has got infinite knowledge and he has told us this. And because he has told us this, we have, I mean, we should have faith that what he's saying is actually true, because everything we can't prove with logic. There will be some things which is beyond our capability, because our knowledge is still limited. So some things we can through our mind, we can use our mind and prove it through logic. But certain things we have to leave it to Arihant Bhagwan. Okay, what you have said is fine, because we don't have that capability yet or that infinite knowledge yet. So that's point number one, that the Darwin's theory, according to our Jain texts, does not exist. The universe was always here and it will always be here. It will never be destroyed. It will never be destroyed, and it will forever continue to exist. The universe will forever continue to exist. The soul will continue to exist, be it in a human, animal, hellish being, or a heavenly being. It will continue to exist, or it will go to moksha, where it is experiencing infinite happiness. So this is the gist. We can like shorten the class today, because today is still the first class. So this is the gist of what is actually expected for us to learn and to understand from our shastras. And we need to understand one concept, that happiness cannot be found externally, because I am happiness. I am made out of infinite happiness. I am happiness. I am peace. I am tranquility. I am bliss. I am courage. Because the soul has got infinite good qualities, infinite good qualities. And that is who I am. I am filled, or I am made of infinite good qualities. And all I need to do is accept it. Because remember, we don't have to do anything. We only have to understand and accept. Because at the moment, in this present time, I have the infinite qualities which I only have to look at. That is the only process. That is the actual, I mean, in like one class, if you understand this and if you experience the soul, it is possible. But in case if it is not possible, like how Kunkunacharya writes in Samaisar, that only read the first 6 gathas. If you can understand the soul, well and good, because that is all there is to it. It's not a big story. It is actually not a big story. But in case if you can't understand the first 6 gathas, the first 6 verses, then you read from verse number 1 to verse number 12. Still, if you cannot still understand what is the soul, then you will have to read all 415 gathas. So now it will depend from individual to individual how quick they are to grasp and how quick they will experience the soul. Now, who can experience the soul? Male, female, and even like napunsak, which is a word used in Shastra, which means half man, half woman. Like all three genders can experience the soul. And after what age? After the age of 8 years old. So even children can experience the soul. Animals can experience the soul. Hellish beings can experience the soul. Heavenly beings can experience the soul. The only prerequisite is that in humans, this is only in humans, the only prerequisite is that you have to be 8 years plus. That is the prerequisite. The prerequisite for all souls is that you have to have 5 senses and a mind. That is the prerequisite for all souls, which is who we are. We are actually 5 sense beings with a mind. So we actually 6 like senses. So only those jeev, only those souls can experience. Now, if you take an ant, for example, he can't, because I think he's got 3 senses, if I'm not mistaken. If you take an amoeba, for example, he's 1 sense being, so he can't experience the soul. If you take a caterpillar, again, a caterpillar is again 3 sense being. So they can't experience the soul. It's only 5 sense being and a mind. So that means that us as like humans and like some animals, like you can say like lion, cow, snake, frog, all these are elephant, all these are like zebras, or basically what we see in the wild. These are the 5 sense beings with a mind. So 6 sense being can actually experience the soul. And this is the whole concept where we will learn the soul is made out of 2 angles. If you ask these small kids, all of them know it so well, that the soul is made out of 2 angles, Dravya and Pariyai, and how to understand these 2 angles, how to experience the soul. It is actually an enjoyable process, because the whole Jain literature is only talking good about yourself, and it is praising you, and it is telling you how infinite and how magnificent you are, like you're the best entity of this universe, and how to experience that infinite, powerful soul that you are. So it becomes very, very interesting to actually understand the powers that we have within, and how we're always looking externally to find help or to find somebody, or like, normally we are dependent, but this will actually make one understand that the soul is infinitely powerful. And કારણ કે આત્મામાં અનંત શક્તિ છે. You are like, Sasu can also sit. કારણ કે આત્મામાં અનંત શક્તિ છે, પોતે આત્મા છે, પોતે પોતાનો આત્મા અનંત શક્તિથી ભરેલો છે, અને અનંત શક્તિથી ભરેલો છે એનો એમ મતલબ છે કે એનો અનુભવ કરીને અનંત સુખ ને અનંત શાંતિ આપણને મળશે. અને તે કારણે opportunity મળી છે to understand the soul, we should all make use of this opportunity. Who knows whether we get it again, we don't get it again. It is like, you can, like how it is written in our Shastra, ke Chakravarti karta. Chakravarti owns a like large amount of wealth, which we can't, like express, because maybe at this moment in time, nobody owns that much amount of wealth. So not even Bill Gates, not even Ambani, like nobody owns that much amount of wealth as much as a Chakravarti owns wealth. And Shastra ma em લખેલું છે કે આપણો punya means our good deeds, Chakravarti કરતા બી ઊંચો હશે તો આપણને આત્મની વાત આપણને સાંભળવા મળી છે. So actually we have done those many good deeds, and look at these children. At the age of 8, 10 years old, they are learning. So look at the amount of good deeds they have done. Atli like nani umar e lokane બધું like મળવા માંડ્યું છે કે હું આત્મા છું, દ્રવ્ય શું છે, પર્યાય શું છે. So we should make use of this opportunity, and from next week we will continue further. This was just introduction, and from next week we will actually learn. So all you have to do this week is just recite like Namokar Mantra in the correct way, because till now the way how we have been reciting is not correct. Even the words are not correct. Now let's take one line. Namo, it is not Namo. Acharya Pushpadant has written Namo, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Sabbasahunam. Now listen to this. Eso panchanamo yaro. It is not karo. Eso panchanamo yaro. Savva pava panasano. Mangalanancha savvesim. And now pay attention. Padamam hoi mangalam, not Havai mangalam. This is the original, what actually Acharya Pushpanant has written. I will also put it on the group, both in English and in Gujarati. So you can see the words, and you can actually see that this is the correct way how we should be saying it. And only if we say it in the correct way, we like accumulate the good deeds. If we say the mantra in a wrong way, again, we don't get as much punya as we should. Okay, are there any questions?